Good morning. Welcome. What the fuck is the manosphere? Well, today we're going to be diving into, I guess, one of the most controversial corners of the internet these days, which seems to be the manosphere. Whether you've been following it or not, I don't know. Or if you're just recently heard terms like, red pill, high value man, hypergamy, passport bro, or FBA, you probably noticed that conversations about masculinity, dating, feminism, and just modern society have become some of the most polarizing discussions online. And over the last decade, I would say a number of personalities have actually helped shape these sort of conversations. People like Andrew Tate, Kevin Samuels, Fresh and Fit, Myron Gaines, Rollo Tomasi, Jordan Peterson. The list goes on. And they've all influenced like different segments of what people broadly call the manosphere. And while these creators really, they don't all agree with one another, they're going to disagree. And many strongly disagree on a lot of important issues. Like they've contributed to I guess a growing movement centered on questions about identity, like male identity, relationships, success, family, culture, the changing roles of men and women in society. And one of the core ideas that appears in these circles is what we call red pill. And that phrase comes from the 1999 film, The Matrix, where taking the red pill, symbolized waking up to what was believed to be the hidden reality behind everyday appearances. Well, within the manosphere, taking the red pill would generally mean rejecting mainstream narratives about really all social things like dating, relationships, gender roles, social expectations, in favor of what proponents believe to be a realistic or even uncomfortable understanding of how men and women actually behave in their roles and what they're supposed to be. And of course, critics argue that red pill ideology really overgeneralizes human behavior. It sort of cherry picks evidences, relies too heavily on, evolutionary psychology, and it can promote cynicism towards relationships and gender. And supporters, on the other hand, argue that it simply encourages men to become more disciplined, more financially independent, more emotionally resilient, and just more realistic about modern dating, marriage, and how men are supposed to operate in society. So today, we're going to focus on one of the more unique voices within this broader kind of ecosystem, and this is Marquett Davon Burton, commonly known simply as Marquett. I was recently introduced to him by my co-host Sophia, and unlike creators whose content revolves, I mean, almost entirely around dating advice, Marquett combines discussions about entrepreneurship, wealth creation, education, race, FBA, identity, masculinity, philosophy. He goes into personal discipline, um, modern social dynamics, and his supporters kind of see him as a strategist who emphasizes personal responsibility and long-term thinking. His critics will argue that some of his conclusions about gender, society, and culture are overly rigid or insufficiently supported by evidence. So our goal today isn't to create an echo chamber or a hate watch session. Instead, what I want to do is react to clips from Marquette content, even where he crashes out like some of the weaker points and some of the stronger points as well. And so we want to ask, are his arguments logically sound? What assumptions underlie his worldview? What does the research actually say about things? Where is he strongest? Where are his blind spots? Are his ideas really descriptive, explaining how people behave? or are they prescriptive, like telling people how they ought to behave? And is he consistent, or is he a chameleon? And perhaps more importantly, are these ideas even helping people build healthier and meaningful lives? And as always on the channel, our goal is to think critically and evaluate the evidence fairly, and separate strong arguments from weak ones, and look at it from a non-dualist sort of perspective. So grab a drink, man, jump into the chat, keep the live chat respectful. Let's dive into the world of Marquett in the manosphere. Let me bring my co-host on, Sophia. Let me get out of there. How you doing today, Miss Sophia?
Hey, doing great. Nice intro.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I wanted to work on something and really kind of devise a good strategy for the conversation, because it's real easy, to just do a lot of hate on people and stuff, and we're gonna definitely have some fun with that, I'm sure. But
Right.
I also wanted to bring a little balance and nuance to it if we can. So we'll try to go on to different clips or whatever if they apply, or we can just talk about it if we can't really find anything specific. But yeah, I was waiting on our other co-host today who will be reacting, Bryce. He said he's going to come through. I'm just kind of messaging him to see if he's still. Oh, he's not available right now in the Facebook Messenger. So hopefully he'll get my message and join us. Welcome everybody in the live stream. We've got 2 people now. I'm trying to see if anybody else will fall in. I'm ready for this meat party. Yeah. Hey, how you doing, Nell? And you can join as well on the panel if you'd like.
Hey, now come on in.
I know this would be something you'd really like to. I thought you'd probably like this topic, for one, just knowing you. So there's the link if you want to jump in and join. And yeah, hopefully we can get somebody on the panel that can help us react to this stuff. Did you want to start off with let me go to your channel so I can start sharing it. Hold on.
You talking to me?
Yeah. Because I think you have some clips.
No, you got to go in your inbox and look at the links. Because I wish you'd be listening to my messages.
Man, I can't listen. I got too many things going on. No, I'm just kidding.
No,
I heard you. I think I thought you said you had it on your channel, but
yeah, but I think it's unlisted. So
unlisted, right. So, and I don't see. Let me go to your messenger. Yeah, go back to it. Meanwhile, hopefully some folks can fall in.
Man, I've been having this stomach bug and
Yeah, it's disgusting, man. I hate it. I had it all last week, man. It put me out, as you know.
Yeah.
That was bad. I think it's that new virus going around.
Yeah, me too. So it feels like fucking food poisoning or some shit.
Hell yeah. All right, let me see if I can share this video. Share screen, Marquett. There we go.
Is that the 18-minute one?
I'm not sure. That's the one I saw in the chat.
Yeah, there's 2. The 18-minute one is the shorter one that I thought we said we're going to start with that one. But I guess it don't really matter.
Okay, let me get the right one though.
The 18-minute one is right above that.
Okay.
It looks like one link, but it's actually two links. You see it?
I gotta scroll up. It's like forever. We go on in our conversations and it's like I lose track of the videos. Okay, there's one. Oh, you deleted it.
No, I didn't.
Is it because I have one where I sent you a video, then I
No,
see
the
two?
one you just grabbed, it's literally right above that.
Yeah, it says deleted. Because
I'm not
remember,
I'm
yeah,
not doing that.
yeah, I don't know why. Go ahead and resend it because I noticed a lot of my stuff gets disappeared in the chat too. Because I don't see it.
Okay.
It says deleted.
That don't even make no sense. Like, why is your chat deleting everything?
I
It's
don't know.
still right there in mine. See?
Wow.
I'm gonna send it to you again. There you go. Nope, that's not it. Hold on. Why is it doing that? Wait a minute. That's crazy. Hold on, hold on.
I see one that says Marquett's full crash out.
From me?
Yeah.
No, that ain't me. All right, now see which one you're getting.
Okay.
Did you get that one?
Yeah, I got it. Yep. Okay, I'll share it. Hold on. Let's get it going. So we're going to start off with that. Is this the Marquette crashes out? Okay. That's the one.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So let's go ahead and look at some of this stuff here. Let me just pull it up. Man, I got so many windows open, it ain't even funny.
Dun 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 dun.
Oh, Lord. Why is this not working now?
What you mean? Do I need to change the setting or something?
No, it ain't going to play. Hold on. Yeah, that ain't going to work, man. Damn.
Okay, let me see if I need to change the
Here we
setting.
go. Let me see if this will do it.
I hear it. Something. Scott.
Yeah, I know.
Raised by your single mom, you weren't given enough game, so you don't have the
There we go.
masculine force to be strategic. So you just lash out and you commit a violent crime and you end up in prison. And then when you get out of prison, you kind of screwed yourself over. Now you struggle in the job market, and then you're going to end up living with a fat white girl who's going to pay all your bills for a time. Then eventually she's going to be like, Tyron, you don't never pay any bills and you don't take care of your kids, Tyron. And then she's going to kick you out. And then you're going to end up homeless on Skid Row. This is your life projection. I'm trying to help you. So be silent. And first, let me tell you about some things you don't know about. Thank you for your patience. Now, Tyrone, number one, You talk about white supremacy. You live at such a low level, you don't even really experience white supremacy because your number one struggle is not against the white supremacist, it's against your own laziness, stupidity, and emotionalism. I will tell you about white supremacy. In my case, I went to the University of California, Berkeley. It's less than 1% Black. If you take a subsection of that for Black males, it's less than 0.5% Black males. Now we're dealing with supremacy. We're dealing with white supremacy, Asian supremacy, stereotypes that say Asians are the smartest, stereotypes that say white people deserve to be here. I'm operating and representing you. I am Black excellence. You dig? You need to show respect to me because I went before those who were competing at the highest levels, and I was the only Black man there, and I represented us well at the high level. Then I went on to Johns Hopkins, which has even less Black people, and I'm a distinguished alumnus. So when you look at their website, you see me. When you look at their list of great graduates, you see a Black face. That's called Black excellence. Now, let me teach you a little bit more, young man.
All right. So far, I guess what his point is, I guess he's saying that he's trying to be a good example as a representation of all Black people by being a Black excellence with academics and stuff like that. That's what he's trying to put forward as the example. In other words, he's trying to give off the appearance that, you know, us Black people, we have legitimacy because look at me, I'm Black excellence. And he wants other Black people to follow that that whole thing. Now, what hidden assumptions in that whole philosophy that you note?
I just think that it's fallacious to say that white supremacy only takes place at that level of his, accomplishments. Let's say systemic racism, is a thing that affects people on every level. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not arguing whether it exists or not. I'm just saying if it exists, it's systemic and it exists on all levels. So the fact that he thinks that's something that doesn't exist unless you go into the best universities is a crock of shit, quite frankly. And the over exaggeration of how he's the only person that's Black excellence and represents the whole entire Black community. He makes way too much emphasis on himself. But hey, whatever floats his boat. There's a lot of successful Black people out there, not just him.
Yeah, my fear is like this runs the risk of like projecting like defining success. Like, what does it mean to be of value as a person? Like your education, your money, your outward appearance, like where you are in the hierarchy of society. This seems to be the root of some of the problems in society. This is very dualistic. Like it's very us against them. This is where the whole, if you think about what a lot of minorities complain about, they complain about that attitude from white people.
Right.
How is Black people doing it so much better? Is it just because, hey, look, we can play the same game better than you? Is that the point? Like, and I'm wondering, does this really make for, because, I always look at what is the goal? It seems like the goal for most people is just to be happy in life.
And I thought it was crazy that he basically stereotyped young Black men in a way where he claims their trajectory is going to be them ending up on Skid Row. Like, seriously? That's a new one. Like, that's worse than what some white racists say about Black people.
Like, exactly. And I try to find out where we can extend an olive branch. Like, I would say, like, I agree. Like, we were just talking about it this morning before we got on. People being late, people not showing up, people saying one thing, doing another. Then they wonder why they can't get ahead in life or whatever. Like
Yeah.
there's a fine balance between trying to be this superior person, because
Mhm.
look, it's just not realistic. Not everyone's going to be superior. You know, that's the whole thing about hierarchies. One person has to be at the top. You
Well,
know,
Marquett is all about hierarchies. He will tell you that straight up. He says that on all his videos. He's all about hierarchies. Hierarchies is
and what happens when you can't make the hierarchy? What happens when, for whatever reason, you can't be one of the top tier?
he don't care, and
Allowed to be happy.
it's the same imperialist mindset that imperialists have. If you can't make it, then that's on you. It's survival of the greatest, you know, and that's his philosophy.
Right. And I guess what I'm getting at is like, suppose we don't want to be at the top. Suppose someone doesn't want to be in the hierarchy, so to speak. So does that make you a bad person? Like, as long as you're taking care of your own business and you're not a dredge on somebody's life, does that make you a bad person necessarily? Hey, Bryce, how you doing?
Hey, sorry I'm late. I got my time mixed up.
No,
I'm in
I
a different
thought that might have happened. I was like,
Yeah.
man, I forget to tell him it's Central. So
Yeah, my
damn
bad.
it. No problem. So we were just, you didn't miss much. We were just kind of reacting a little bit to this Marquett guy. I'm going to back it up for your benefit, so you can see it too, because I really want to see what you have to say about this so far, and we'll stop it at the same spot. So let me back this up just a little bit.
Sure.
And he's talking about Black excellence.
Okay.
So,
Because you're a stereotypical African American male, which means you're emotionally aggressive. You're not strategically aggressive, you're emotionally aggressive, which means you did not make a rational decision to be aggressive. Your emotions have compelled you to be aggressive. And that's your problem. This is how you guys end up in jail, because you can't control yourself. You lash out because you're raised by your single mom, you weren't given enough game, so you don't have the masculine force to be strategic. So you just lash out and you commit a violent crime and you end up in prison. And then when you get out of prison, you kind of screwed yourself over. Now you struggle in the job market, and then you're going to end up living with a fat white girl who's going to pay all your bills for a time. Then eventually she's going to be like, Tyron, you don't never pay any bills and you don't take care of your kids, Tyron. And then she's going to kick you out. And then you're going to end up homeless on Skid Row. This is your life projection. I'm trying to help you. So be silent. And first, let me tell you about some things you don't know about. Thank you for your patience. Now, Tyron, number one, you talk about white supremacy. You live at such a low level, you don't even really experience white supremacy, because your number one struggle is not against the white supremacists, it's against your own laziness, stupidity, and emotionalism. I will tell you about white supremacy. In my case, I went to the University of California, Berkeley. It's less than 1% Black. If you take a subsection of that for Black males, it's less than 0.5% Black males. Now we're dealing with supremacy. We're dealing with white supremacy, Asian supremacy, stereotypes that say Asians are the smartest, stereotypes that say white people deserve to be here. I'm operating and representing you. I am Black excellence. You dig? You need to show respect to me, because I went before those who were competing at the highest levels, and I was the only Black man there, and I represented us well at the high level. Then I went on to Johns Hopkins, which has even less Black people, and I'm a distinguished alumnus. So when you look at their website, you see me. When you look at their list of great graduates, you see a Black face. That's called Black excellence. Now, let me teach you a little bit more, young man.
so what do you think, Bryce, about that dialogue right there?
I mean, the arrogance oozes out of this one. For him to suggest that he has the audacity to teach people things that they are guessing at or that they are assuming, you know. Now, I don't know anything about this person that he's talking to, Tyron. Some of that could have been true. I don't know the person in question. Whether
It's actually not true, but you're going to see when it goes on. He's just assuming about him.
Like, I don't know that this person has ever been to jail. I don't know that this person was raised by a single parent. I don't know anything about them, and I don't know if this other guy knows any of that information too, or if he's just employing white supremacist stereotype talking points, which would be funny if he is. Certainly, it is a white supremacist stereotype talking point. I was raised by a single mother. I've never been to jail. I am a college graduate. I whatever else that he was assuming about people raised by single black women. I haven't married a white woman. I'm married to a white man, so maybe I fit into that stereotype for him. But we're in a happy marriage, so that's neither here nor there.
Hey, I don't want to interrupt, but Bryce, can you maybe fix your audio a little bit?
Yeah, am I coming in quiet?
Yeah, coming in quiet. That's a lot better. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just get quiet. I just pulled the mic closer.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, no, it just sounds like he was rattling off a bunch of stereotypes that I don't know that he knows are true, and so until he can demonstrate that the majority of black men fit into all of those categories that he listed off, then he's just making stuff up. There's no reason for me to believe that that's true. By the way, his statistic about UC Berkeley, where he claims that he went to, is wrong. It's actually 1 to 1.2% of black men, not just black people. It's 4% black people at UC Berkeley. So maybe this applied to when he went there, whenever that was. I'm not going to call into question his academic acumen or credentials, but he may have just gotten that statistic wrong. It's still a low percentage of black men, but it's higher than what he said. I just wanted to clarify that. I just looked it up.
Right. Okay, I'll keep on with the video.
Then I founded a tech company. I invented a technology. There are none like us in that industry. And I took that company around the world, young man. I am excellence. When I created a tech company and competed at the high level, who did I compete with? Did I compete with little dirtball black guys like you? No. I competed with elite Asians, elite whites. That's when you're really battling supremacy and they're trying to take us out. That's the high level. You don't understand that level. And guess what? When I do work at that level, I'm the one who makes opportunity for little guys like you who might be able to do something. Why? Because they say, you know what? I've met a black guy who's a genius. They exist. I've met a black guy who's timely and reliable and sharp and has first-class manners and sophistication. They exist. But you, my boy, you're the ones who talk about white supremacy. You've never confronted white supremacy because you complain. You can't complain away white supremacy. When you're like me and you can go and outperform a Asian person and a white person, that is bringing us forward. You're just a dirtball little dirty black guy who's delusional. And you love to hear people complain about white supremacy because that's your explanation of why you're a loser. And you, my friend, are a loser. Period. That's why you.
Yeah, this is that.
So what is
what
this
you call
about? Like,
pill.
what point is he trying to make?
I mean, in my opinion, his point
Other
is
than
just
he hates black people.
Yeah, he hates black people. Basically, his whole thing is
he's an FBA, supposedly.
FBA, right.
Which stands for Foundational Black American. And
which means what?
It's like an ideology that is gatekeeping blackness. Like they attack people from different countries, like Africans that they call tethers, who don't agree with a lot of the black culture. And they believe that, reparations should go to black people in America and immigrants take away from that. And so they're very anti-immigrant.
So he's basically, it sounds like he's the opposite of, it sounds like he's the opposite of what I hear a lot of black people from other countries come here and complain about, like a lot of black Africans.
Right.
Not all of them, but I've run into many of them who have this air of superiority that they're better than African Americans, they're more educated, that we're all just gangsters and hood, thugs and all that. And so it sounds like he's the opposite of that. And so he hates the black people that are not American. They hate the black people that are American. And there's like this war of black people going on. That's what I gather so far from this.
Yeah, it's pretty divisive because it does come off like he just hates black people, but he says he doesn't. He says he's trying to uplift black people, especially black men, right? He's trying to teach them how to be real men, and we need hierarchies back. We need to make sure that the man is in charge, the woman is obedient, and we don't achieve black excellence because we fucked up the whole hierarchy. And he says about black women that all black women are essentially white liberal women.
This is a question that I would pose to him because this sounds very similar to a lot of MAGA arguments I hear. And so the question that I would pose for someone like this is, can you name the year that these black hierarchies were in place? And then we could examine black success in that year and compare it to today. And I don't think he would like that very much, assuming he could even name a year.
Right.
The problem with his ideology is it assumes that there was some point in the past where black people were better off than they are today.
Yes.
And
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. I'm sorry. What did she say?
No, I'm saying he's assuming that there was some point in the past where black people were better off than they are today. And I would like him to name that year because I don't know what year that was.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, because he does say that. He's like before, what do you say, Jim Crow laws or whatever. That's when black people had their heyday. He said like soon after slavery, they had the Black Renaissance, and he goes into that, and he says it was only when the black people started swallowing the white liberal woman's ideology. That's when they became dependent, and the family broke down, and
And the women, they traded in their men for food stamps.
So his claim is that Jim Crow didn't have anything to do with that.
Right.
Oh, okay. So he's just an idiot.
Yeah.
That doesn't comport with any kind of history that I've ever read.
Yeah.
What exactly is he a major in?
I believe it's political science, if I'm not mistaken, but don't quote me. But it could also be his history. I believe it's history. I don't know. I forgot.
Okay, that's fine. That just means he's a liar then.
Yeah.
Because I took history in college too. I didn't major in history, but I aced it. And I know that that's a very one-dimensional take. This is why I would ask specific questions like that. What year were black people great? What year do you want to go back to? And then we can just look at the laws, the legal systems, all of the different forms of segregation that existed in the country, and we can see if black people would be better off back then.
Right.
So that's my take so far. I don't know who the other guy is, so I can't comment.
So those, he has his own little show, and people just randomly call in, and he just does this whole performance where he belittles people. That's just kind of his thing.
That's just like in Marquett, right?
Yeah, me personally, I think he's a complete grifter.
Yeah, sounds like it. I'm talking about the other guy, the guy he's talking to. I don't know anything about.
Right, they are no one like special. I mean, I'm not saying that in a demeaning way. They're just random people calling in and trying to challenge him, which he never gives them time to speak, as you will see. And I think it's very ironic that he accuses black men of being so emotional, but every single time a black man comes on and tries to have a conversation with him, he fucking crashes out.
Yeah, that was a hugely emotional rant.
Yeah.
There are ways, an intelligent orator has ways of communicating clearly and effectively and to the point without all of the emotional inflections that this gentleman was just doing. Barack Obama would be a good example of that.
Oh yeah.
There's many other examples. I think I'm probably a good example of it too. But there's no need to emote that strongly and to use a bunch of ad hominem fallacies and name calling when you're trying to make your point. That doesn't make your point stronger. That just looks like an emotional crash out.
Well, what's funny is he rejects the ad hom as a fallacy. He says it's an opinion, not a fallacy.
Yeah. And
Okay, well then he's just dumb.
He's dumb.
First of all, two things can be true at the same time. It is an opinion. It's also fallacious when it's used in an argument.
That's right. Exactly.
He probably doesn't know what a fallacy is.
Yeah, he probably doesn't. I mean,
well, the thing is, he does. Now, I will give Marquett this. He is very educated and he is smart. And that's why when I look at him, it's like, oh my God, it's such a waste because this guy is really intelligent, but he is so emotionally screwed up and emotionally stunted that all that intelligence goes right out the window.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like he wants to be the black man who made it, and because he made it, he gets to talk down to all other black men. It's kind of it is a form of white superiority. He's like, you ever see the Dave Chappelle skit where you have the black white supremacist?
We basically call somebody like him a slave catcher, or the head slave.
Yeah, like he wants
Clayton Bigsby.
Right. Yeah. That's his name. Yeah. No, he thinks he's better because he thinks he's overcame blackness.
Yes.
That's right.
What it is. And
now he's going to teach all the dirtbag black guys how it's
he's
really.
He's going to teach the rest of us, even though half of his assumptions about us are based in white supremacist stereotypes.
Supremacy. That's the ironic thing. That's what I was saying before. I'm like, all the things that he complained that the white supremacists do, he now does. Like, I don't get it. How does that help?
Yeah. It sounded like, again, I don't know. This is the first conversation I've ever heard from him, but it sounded like he wanted to redefine white supremacy to mean that white people are more successful in business and are in more positions of authority, and therefore they occupy supremacy over black people. But that's not what white supremacy means. And if he's as intelligent as you guys say he is, then he knows that. He's just doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Real white supremacy is when you have systemic racism and institutionalized racism that are designed to basically keep black people from succeeding. They were built into these systems from the beginning.
Right.
I could talk about all the different ones, but I don't know that may go beyond the scope of this conversation.
Yeah.
How long does he go on like this for?
These clips are gonna go shift from one to the other, where he's talking to different people on different topics. So
okay.
We'll react to different viewpoints there he's got. So we keep going.
You love racism because it's your explanation of why you're a loser.
Bro, can I talk now?
You're not my bro. You're my inferior.
Marquett, Davon, Burton. Am I allowed to speak?
See, you know my whole name because I'm the big homie, and your name does not matter. You will die nameless. Your children will, if you ever get any, your children will die having a father who was a nobody.
Bro, but like the whole time you was talking, like you
Shut up.
I'm
not your bro. Don't start your sentence calling me bro.
I'm not saying that in the sense of bro. You know that. You're not.
No, I don't know you, and I don't know that. If you're gonna speak, you're gonna speak properly.
But that's another nigga to me. But I was calling you.
No, don't call me bro. Fix your English. I'm not your bro. Address me properly and speak. You're too stupid. Let me tell you, this is the problem with African Americans. You're so damn brain dead, you can't even speak without slang. How stupid are you? You can't even speak without using the word bro. You can't speak without repeating your sentences. You can't speak without stuttering. That is a psychological disposition you need to deal with. How could you come and try to debate me when you barely speak English? You're arrogant, son. Now speak to me without using colloquialism and calling me bro, so that if you have something relevant to say, we can all comprehend it.
Well, if I must speak sophisticated as to appease your sensibilities, as if I'm talking to a white man, because that is precisely what you are, a white man in black skin who goes out of his way to coon very aggressively in favor of those you want to appease. And it's funny how you go on the stream, you You go on
Why
a
do you
stream
keep repeating yourself? Just say what you gotta say.
because I'm using the sophistication of language that you want me to use, so I won't be muted. And so, and as well as
You can't speak English.
you
Where
had
did you
your-
grow up?
you had your 3-minute rant
Where did
about.
you grow up?
You had your 3-minute rant about.
You can't
I'm
speak English. What the fuck?
And see, you can't even let me. How am I like you're talking over me like a bitch, like a black woman right now? You're talking over me like a bitch. But
Now I'm dragging a black woman through the dirt. God damn.
I'm not. But I'm on some type shit. It could be any woman, but you be like, you don't even let me like speak on some shit, which is like I sat there silently for 3 minutes because I'm that type of person. I'm a listener. I'll sit there and I'll let people go
Say
on
what
and
you
drag
gotta
on.
say, bro. It's hard to listen to you because you're inarticulate. It's hard to listen to people who are inarticulate.
But the thing is, I went to college to have a white collar job. You know what I mean? I've done dissertations. I've done essays. You know, I mean, you can call me inarticulate, but I feel like that I'm not going to subscribe to that notion. Just like you, because I go through what you go through. You think I'm just another stereotypical black male, but you have no idea about my background or my reality or what I've been through.
Yeah, that's what I was saying before.
Without even having.
Yeah, you needed to get to that point, but yeah.
And also, go ahead.
Mhm.
I think it's really sad how he's attacking his stuttering because he's pretty much. I don't think he's that. Like I don't think he's as. What's the word, man? My English is failing me. Damn it.
Inarticulate.
Yeah, he's not as inarticulate as he's trying to make it seem, but he's constantly interrupting him. The guy does seem to have a little bit of a stuttering issue, but I think that's messed up that he's basically making fun of his stuttering.
Well, he's doing this ad hominem. He doesn't want him to get to the substance of the conversation.
Right. He's not
So any chance he gets to interrupt him, that's why he's attacking all these nonsensical things. Like, don't call me bro. First of all, bro is not black slang. That's American slang, and it's
Right.
endearment for most people. So the fact that he's offended by him calling him bro, he's not offended by that he was called bro. He's offended that a black person is calling him bro because he thinks that black people should speak like him. You know, there's nothing. I didn't detect anything inarticulate about what this other guy was saying.
Not at all.
He's actually speaking very articulately. Speaking using slang is not inarticulate.
Right.
You know,
when I was coming up in the 80s, here down in Florida, all the surfer guys would say bro and dude, like it was usually a white guy thing. Like black people weren't really speaking like that. Yeah, like if you live in California, that's how white people talk. Mostly. In fact, I hardly ever hear black people say bro. Usually black people say bro. You know?
That's right, we say bro, but nowadays, like everybody uses slang, no matter what your race is. You know, it's just kind of American now. But this Marquett guy is ignorant to think that because someone's using slang, therefore that makes them inarticulate. That's not what inarticulate means. Inarticulate is not knowing what words mean. It's not knowing how to pronounce words. It's not knowing how to string together coherent sentences. That's the definition of inarticulate. It's not the occasional use of slang as a term of endearment. He doesn't want the other guy to speak, because if he lingers too long on the point that he just tried to make, which this other guy really just kind of knocked down. He said, "You don't know anything about me. You're just making assumptions. You're just going off of stereotypes." Pretty much the thing that I said. He didn't want him to get to that. You know, that's why he kept interrupting him. Yeah. All right. Let me keep it going. It's going to get to, or I think this is the whole thing with this guy, right? So I'll just I'll play a little bit more, then we'll go to something else.
Like, without even, you just see my face. You just see this dark skin, and you have all these assumptions about my background and who you think I am. And what are you trying to say? Intellect. What I'm saying is that, you know, I am an intelligent black man. I do come from black excellency. I do come from a good home. I do make money for myself. I do invest. I do travel internationally. I've done all these things, but I'm not so elitist that I can't go politic with the black people who are not as sophisticated as I am. And that's what I think. What you're doing is dangerous. You know, even though I grew up in
one
suburbia.
sentence, what's your point in one sentence? In one sentence, what are you trying to tell me? Like, what are you trying to tell me in one sentence?
Why does he have to say what he has to say in one sentence?
Don't dissociate yourself from other African Americans because of your perceived inferiority complex, because the white society doesn't see it the same way. We're all still niggers in their eyes, and just because they give you a couple kisses on the cheek, that does not make you one of them. You're still one of us. And the more you try to run away from that fact, the more you try to run away from who you are, the more you're just going to screw yourself and isolate yourself.
Yeah, so that's his main point.
Yeah, I don't know that he is one of us. I may have disagreed with that point, but I will say this: he is one of us in terms of how he will be perceived by non-black people.
Right. That's right.
Right, he can run around and say black excellency and all this, and I'm the best.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that any supremacist is not going to respect them either way.
Or any institutions or any systems that he may be the beneficiary of. You know, when he goes to the hospital for COVID or anything, they're not going to treat him like a white person. They're going to treat him like a black person, just like everyone else. They don't care that he went to UC Berkeley, that he was part of the 1%, or that he has his own business. They judge black people differently than they judge white people in terms of pain threshold and attitude that they're given the delivery people. You know, his attitude, if he gives that black attitude to the nurses and the doctors, he's going to be last in the line, right? So,
Right.
Because they already have assumptions about him because he's black. So, yeah, he can talk about black excellence all he wants, but that's not what white people see, generally speaking. And it's certainly not what the overt racist white people see. It's not what cops are going to see. It's not what politicians see. That's what he wants to see. You know, he looks in the mirror and he sees the white man that he wants to be, but nobody else sees that.
Right. Hey, I don't mean to be the one to keep interrupting you, but your mic, it seems to be going in and out. And I don't know, is anyone else hearing that, or is that just me?
Yeah, it goes in and out a little bit.
Let me reset it. Maybe that.
And Scott, don't leave yet, because it gets worse on there. Like, there's more stuff that we need to go over.
Oh, with that one? Okay.
Are you abandoning that clip already?
Yeah, I didn't know because it looked like it was almost over.
No, not yet.
Oh, okay. Let me pull it back up then.
I mean, all I wanted to say, we can see that he, number one, didn't let the guy speak, which is a horrible debate tactic. He constantly interrupts him and does ad hominem attacks. We've seen that. So the guy actually made pretty good points when he did get to speak. And it just kind of shows that if Marquett is so intelligent, and if he can beat people during debate because he's so superior, then why
do I sound better to you guys now?
Yep, that's perfect now.
It's probably because I have the wrong microphone set up. So
yeah, it's way better.
I had the wrong input. My bad.
No worries.
So yeah, if we're gonna evaluate it from a standpoint of, is he making good points? Does he know how to properly debate? I would say no. I think he's debating like somebody who's ignorant, actually. And if he has to use those tactics, then he's obviously not a good debater, you know?
Well, I think he's what Scott said. I think he's a grifter.
Yeah,
I don't think debate is his thing. I think performative art is more of his thing,
and that's what this video clearly shows, right? And I think that's the main point of why we're doing this, because I agree with the young man. What he's doing is dangerous. There are people out here who are following this guy like he's freaking, I don't know, King Tut. And it's dangerous because he's exploiting unresolved traumas. He's exploiting hatred and using it to get paid, pretty much, you know?
I think that if he were on a moderated debate, he would get embarrassed.
Yeah.
If he didn't have the controls and he didn't have the power of silencing his interlocutor, if that was in the hands of a neutral third party and there were time limits and they each got equal time, he would lose.
Well, here's the thing about Marquett. He does appear on other people's stuff, but he's a chameleon. He behaves completely different when he's not in control.
Yeah. Does he ever do moderated debates?
I believe so. I don't know, to be honest. I do know he's went on other people's channels, and I know he went on the Willie D show.
Interviews, yeah.
Interviews and stuff, but I don't actually know if
First of all, he looks like a fool right now. He's wearing a white robe towel on a couch. Like that's hardly the image of professionalism.
He's in his bed he's not even on a couch because he wants to show that he's spending all this money on these lavish hotels, and he always tells people, yeah, I'm out of the country right now. And stuff like that.
And one thing he does is he challenges people to fist fights, and then he tells them he'll fly them out in order to meet up, in order to catch that fade. That's his thing.
Has he ever done it?
Hell no.
He hasn't. The last one I saw, he invited someone to have the fight, and the guy said he would do it, but then he changed and said, I'd rather wrestle you. And the guy said, no, I want to do boxing. I want you to catch this fade. And so the guy agreed, but then the guy never showed up, apparently. And he showed the text where the guy said, no, I'm not gonna do that.
Imagine a grown-ass man, allegedly educated, highly educated, right, from UC Berkeley, trying to make an argument that Black people are too emotional, and then concluding that argument with, hey, let's go do a fight.
Right.
Imagine that.
And this guy was an educator at a middle school, I believe.
Which one? The Marquett?
Yes.
Well, that's fine. We don't know what he was educating. He could have been educating gym class.
Right. Right.
No, I believe it was an actual subject like history or something. But still, I mean, imagine this guy educating youngsters. Oh my God.
And hey, Nell, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing all right. Although listening to Marquett here, it's man, didn't know he could make my blood boil like that.
Yeah.
Well, let's get through the rest, or we'll never get through it.
It gets worse.
It gets worse, so get ready.
Yeah. All right, let me. Man, where did he go? Oh my God, this thing is weird.
And we're having all kinds of problems today.
Yeah, I don't even know if this is sharing anymore. I'm trying to play it. Wow. Whoa.
What happened?
That's not the right one. That's why I'm having a problem with this. Hold on. Oh my God, what is going on? Let me just remove it. Try to reshare it. You know, sometimes this program is really weird.
And my values are publicly stated in public information. I'm actually creating a global movement. It is. So I identify with those who are saintly. And lastly, let me tell you how fucking goofy you are. And this is why I hate people like you in particular. You want to say ignorant things like, don't disassociate with the African American. You grew up in the suburbs, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. You're a bitch ass nigga. You grew up in the suburbs. You gonna look at somebody like me and say, don't disassociate with the African American. Number one, I grew up in the gutter. I could never disassociate with people I grew up with. Number one. Number two, if you check my background, you little dirt bag, I taught in Baltimore City. I taught all Black kids. I taught in Philadelphia. I taught all Black kids. When you see the nonprofit I ran, it supported all Black families. Furthermore, little dirt bag boy, When you watch my conferences are 80% plus young black men, aka foundational black Americans, aka African Americans, aka you're a motherfucking liar. And here's what I hate about people like you. You watch somebody like me who is doing the deed. You check my background, it's all deeds. Know a man by his works. But then you'll follow a Tariq Nasheed who's building a museum. Is a museum what niggas need?
He's not film.
Shut up, I'm not done. Shut up, I'm not done.
What have you done?
Shut up, Bo, I'm not done. Or then you look at a Dr. Umar
You go
Johnson.
live and talk shit. You don't have no films, nigga.
Mute him. Or then you look at a Dr. Umar Johnson who's building a
Bad
school
argument.
that never came into fruition. Are imaginary schools what niggas need?
One of your many.
I'm doing the works. What you're saying is complete idiocy. The reason that you're mad at a guy like me is because you are still in your own way. White supremacists are not limiting you. Your mindset is limiting you. Period.
My mindset cool. I ain't mad. I'm feeling.
Before you talk to a man like me of my caliber and my status, you should first figure out how to speak English. Number one. And the reason I tell you that, you don't even feel comfortable speaking the language that is your first language. Now, since you're a Pan-Africanist, which is funny because you've never been to Africa, I'm guessing.
Pause that for a second.
I have. I've been to Ghana. I've been to Egypt.
Yep.
So if that is true, if the person he's debating is a Pan-Africanist, then I also disagree with him because I think Pan-Africanism is almost equally stupid as what Marquett is. They're like two sides of the opposite, two sides of the same coin. But
I don't think that the guy is a Pan-Africanist though. Like he's just making stuff up as he goes along. He doesn't know this at all. And this guy right here grew up in a 2-parent home in the suburbs, you know, and stuff like that. And he doesn't know that guy. He's just saying things. The guy, that guy didn't even come on there and complain about white supremacy or said anything about being held down. But I mean, of course, he's also pro-black. I mean, I don't think nothing wrong with being pro yourself. But
I was going to say that his entire argumentation towards this fellow seems to be straw man arguments. And now he has to reverse himself because the reason he asked him, he said, you grew up in the suburbs, right? Was after he let him know, hey, I don't fit all your stereotypes. All the stereotypes you just said about black men a few minutes ago, I don't mean that. So now he has to reverse himself and act like he knew all along.
But
so
go ahead,
what you're saying is you grew up in the suburbs.
I've noticed interesting parallels though between this black elitism and white elitism, where he's trying to say that he's not speaking English, but he is. It's just everyone's speaks different dialects. It's like how white people try to police the Appalachian accent and consider that stupid or beneath them.
Yeah, there was nothing inarticulate about what he was saying.
Notice Marquett he shifted. Now all of a sudden he's speaking all the slang and everything like that. I noticed.
Well, now he's just using profanity.
Yeah, and
like
he has
speaking
a rule.
worse.
He has a rule. He has a rule on his channel that if you curse once, he has a 1-strike rule. He'll get kicked out, but it's okay for him to crash out and use every curse word in the book. He's just a clown to me. I swear he's a clown.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've been involved.
This is funny. Calm down, my boy. We'll let you talk. Calm down. We'll let you talk. Just give me a moment. Give me a moment, little dirtbag.
Muting him again.
You, my boy, you don't speak English, even though, were you born in America? This is a yes or no question. Were you born in America?
Yes.
Thank you. You're born in America, so English is your first language. You purport to be intelligent, yet you can't master a language that is your mother tongue. That suggests to me that you have low IQ or you have poor schooling, which is a pity because you in the suburbs and suburbs have good schools. I wouldn't know. I didn't grow up in the burbs. You fucking nerd. Now, I'm gonna give you a chance to talk. Just be calm, my boy. Just be calm. Just be calm. Why is eyes opening up so goddamn wide? This boy gonna have a goddamn hypertension death like Kevin Sanders. Calm down, my boy.
No, 1 second.
He's angry. He's angry. Calm down. Why he's yelling? Why is he so angry? Calm down, my boy. Now, you got to keep muting this motherfucker. He won't calm down. as I was saying, on the point of English,
Dude,
which
I'm
is-
for smoke. Oh, I can't speak. Let me speak.
We're gonna have to pull you out of the call in a second. We're gonna have to pull you out of the call in a second because you're too emotional.
Hey, nigga, fuck. Let me speak.
We're gonna have to pull you out. You're too emotional. Just calm down. Just calm down for a second. God, he done lashed out. He lashed out. All right, we're gonna pull him out the call. He's too emotional. God damn, he's too emotional. I'm sorry. He's too emotional. You're trying to question what I've done, which is a public information. What have you done for Black people? What link? Give me a link I can pull up, or give me some photos I can pull up just to see some evidence of what you've done for Black people, you big mouth bastard.
Look, I ran a family restaurant and we hired Black people.
What? Oh, get the fuck out of here. No, you're a piece of trash. You're a piece of trash. Hold on one second, little middle class boy. You're a piece of trash. This middle class piece of trash said I ran a family restaurant. So basically your parents were successful and you came and piggyback off of their stuff and said we hired Black people. Wow. No, let me ask you, what did you do for Black people that made you $0? I just pointed out one thing I did for Black people that made me $0. I found a nonprofit for Black boys. I worked every weekend on my spare time, unpaid, and taught computer skills to Black children. What have you done for Black people unpaid, you dirtbag?
Honestly, I help my immediate family and my extended family, but I can't.
You piece of trash. You piece of trash. I swear to God, you're the type of guy that if I could execute you, I would. If I could execute you and get away with it, I would, because you misrepresent us. Let me tell you the kind of piece of trash you are. You have the goddamn audacity to come on here.
How has his video not been reported yet? Because he just threatened to kill somebody.
Exactly. And
I heard him threaten to kill somebody.
Yeah, talking about emotions.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how that video, where's that video? Can I find that on YouTube?
Yeah. Sophia has the link. You're muted, Sophia.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, I can get you the whole link. But yeah, I don't even understand how YouTube still has this up here.
But I wonder how many followers he has.
He has a lot. He makes his living off of this.
Yeah, apparently, what does he make like?
About, from what I can research, around 20,000 a year just off of internet, his internet presence.
Yeah, crazy.
I wonder what percentage of his audience.
I mean, not a year, a month. 20,000 a month, roughly.
What percentage of his audience do you imagine is Black?
I know. You know what he doesn't know? Dirty little secret. A lot of white people like this guy.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
He's got a lot of MAGA people.
I would assume his audience is majority MAGA.
Oh, they love him. They talk highly of him. I see him in these little when he's on the street with a microphone, and MAGA people are really endorsing him. And yeah, he's
But to be honest, though, it is a really good business model. I mean, this is how Candace Owens got famous. This is how.
And ironically, he speaks about her and calls her a coon and whatever. He's so ass backwards.
Dang.
Internal walking contradiction, sounds like.
This clip right here shows how insane this guy is. Like, it's almost over, but he goes completely.
Yeah. And to answer Joel's question, I mean, this is manosphere 101. Like, there is no substance. It's just insults, provocation, trying to posture himself that he can just execute someone. Like this is what the manosphere offers.
Right.
Yeah. It's what right-wing media and right-wing politics offers too. That's been normalized on the right.
Yep.
Now I'm going to show you a video a little later on, just a few clips where he actually engages in a conversation with white supremacists. And it's just so funny how the conversation is just when he talks to Black people and how they agree on so much. That's crazy.
Can we just watch the last part of the crash?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Here
That's
we go.
the main thing I want people to see is how he completely loses it on camera.
Loses his shit.
Someone who has slaved without pay for my people, one who has given people the opportunity to make an income so they can stay out of jail and stay out of the streets. And you dirtbag piece of trash, you've never done anything for anybody. You selfish, self-righteous piece of dog shit. You disgust me. You are a fucking coffee shop revolutionary. You one of them dumb motherfuckers that say shit but ain't done shit. You the worst kind of black guy. You the one we all talk about. The one that don't take care of their kids. The one that don't do shit and just got complaints. Talking about, I done helped out my immediate friends and family. Motherfucker, everybody does that. I'm talking about what have you done for a black stranger who needed you, who had nothing. You dumb bad, you dumb fuck motherfucker. You need to read my book and figure out what a real fucking man is. You read my book and figure out when I was in Baltimore City and I used to walk my ass to work in a public school when it was goddamn snowing and there was kids sitting outside and against the rules of that school. I let them motherfucking kids in that school early, an hour or two early, so they didn't have to sit in the goddamn snow and got the whole fucking policy changed.
What an angel.
This
So these children who are black didn't have to sit in the goddamn snow. You dumb motherfucker, you don't match up to me. I should beat your ass for even coming on this live stream and try to act like you didn't did shit for my people. You not one of us.
Sounded like he was about to cry.
Oh my God.
But yeah, no, he really made the point there about how emotional and intelligent he is. But don't forget to buy his book.
Don't forget to buy my book.
You need to go buy my book.
That is so funny. I think you and Marquett Sophia had words.
I believe that's him. Yeah, he uses all these fake accounts to respond to people under his videos, and his argument was, oh, let me guess, you're like 200 pounds or more, and I was like, who hurt you, where, and when?
And he's really got a problem with well, I'll get to that a little later. I just wanted to see this.
It is funny as hell, man.
It's fucking wild, man. This guy, man. Hold on.
By the way, how big is he?
How big is he? He seems like he's about my height, about 6 feet tall. He's I mean, if you mean physically big,
yeah,
he's like a lean build.
Yeah, lean.
Yeah, he didn't I wasn't getting it. You can't tell anything on camera, but just looking at him, he does not appear to be intimidating to me.
No, he's not. That's what I was saying, and I don't mean anything weird when I say this, but it did hit my mind. Is the thing is he's really anti-gay, like he's a big homophobe and everything, and he always talks about feminine men. And
is he married?
Yeah, Marquett.
Yes, but I've never seen the missus. And he also believes in polygamy or polygyny. And so, let him tell it. He's got probably more than one wife. But I mean, I don't know where she is. I've never seen her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His name is Doug.
He seems kind of effeminate in some ways. Like, I don't know. He just kind of strikes me that way.
Well, the reason I brought it up is usually people who are like, I haven't seen this. You said he was homophobic, but usually people who are like that homophobic, especially if you're going to endorse something like polygamy, there's enough of an inconsistency there to make me question the reason. This certainly isn't related to religion. Religion is usually the reason people default to homophobia. If it's not that, it's probably something else. And if you hate gay people, you might hate yourself.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
He dislikes gay people. He dislikes trans people. I mean, he says really horrible things about the marginalized. He hates black women, gay people,
black men, apparently.
Yeah, black men. I mean, who does he not hate? He hates everything.
He doesn't seem to hate white people.
Yeah, they are all elitist excellence, who allowed him into their circles,
Yeah, he panders to them, I think. I think most of his people are these white MAGA types. So I think he knows better than to shit on them.
I mean,
So now this is a debate between him and a white nationalist.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how that, if he's, because I agree that he's probably pandering to MAGA. So it looks like he's going to have some kind of debate.
Hell, he tells white supremacists that he needs to take over the white supremacist movement because he does it better.
Oh, that's obvious. Yeah. Yeah. That we may agree, but I may agree with him on that.
I mean, I think at the core of it, he's a fucking comedian.
That's all he really is.
Debate. The gentleman sent in a request via Instagram, and so we will have a discussion and perhaps
his whole demeanor is completely different.
I'm going to yield the floor to the gentleman to introduce himself, and we will proceed from there.
Yes, well, thank you, Marquett, for doing this. And I have to say, you have some bars, you have some motion in the songs for sure. I am a fan of music, rap. I do like a little bit of motion when people speak, when they have rhythm. But my name is James. My Instagram and TikTok is Cloysius. I am a white nationalist. I believe white people need to begin advocating for themselves in their own countries. They are going extinct in their own countries. You can go to China and you can go to Indonesia. That's fine. People from all over the world move around in a globalized society. But for some reason, as white people, we have begun to say it's okay for us to be disrespected in our own countries. It's okay for us not to stand up for ourselves. And any other group of people that survives stands up for themselves. They stand up for their interests. And I want to empower white people to do the same.
Well,
okay, pause really quick
before he
gets into his rebuttal. Because I don't know who I'm rooting for here. I probably got both pieces of shit already, right? But I do want to say that for people peddling this white nationalist talking point, it's so ridiculous because Europe, which is where white people come from, is predominantly white still. It's never been encroached on by non-white ethnicities threatening to take over the countries, right. What he's talking about is America, but America is not a white country. America is a country where white people came here and killed everybody and brought black slaves, right? Mm-hmm. He thinks that's where white people come from because he's dumb, but right. White people didn't come here. This is not a white country. It never has been. The fact is it has a white majority now, and it has ever since colonization. And there doesn't seem to be a trend away from that. So he doesn't know what he's talking about. But I just wanted to point that out. He thinks America is a white country because maybe he doesn't know history.
Exactly.
Budget Joseph Gordon-Levitt. All right.
Good.
Two of the things you mentioned were curious. You gave an example of China and Indonesia, and you mentioned white people standing up in their own countries. The difference between perhaps what you're referencing with the whites standing up in their own countries is that China was originally a place for the Han Chinese, Indonesia originally for the Indonesians, whereas conversely, say if you were to take Australia or the United States, neither of those are actually white countries. Those are places that whites inserted themselves, typically through violence, mass murder, RAPE,
I hate that he's agreeing with me.
And much else, all things that we would consider to be pretty evil. Tell you, but I said so would you like to kind of center us now?
Yeah, I'm willing to respond to that. The world grew not by peace, it grew by war. When we looked at native tribes in Australia and North America, they fought each other. They had wars with each other. They committed mass atrocities. The Aztecs, Mayans literally sacrificed little children, ripped their hearts out. So to say that the world grew by peace and everyone was just playing nicely is untrue. Any other ethnic group who got power, they would have done the same thing. White people were just more, particularly British people. And I'm Irish, so my people didn't exactly conquer the whole world. But predominantly the British and Americans were able to go and insert themselves and dominate other cultures and conquer them by force. And the whole world is about being conquered or conquering, and white people, because they have not stood up for themselves, they are losing the nation.
That's very curious. There are a number of points there that are strange. Number one, you're Irish. I was just recently in Ireland. I surmise that damn near the whole of Ireland would disagree with your politics. Moreover, you're suggesting that the inclination to conquer RAPE, steal people's lands, erase their cultures, and kill is the natural instinct of humankind. I would actually forward that is a unique instinct of the European. And the evidence today, when you look at countries.
Wait a minute, wasn't he just threatening the life of a black man?
Right.
This dude is such a chameleon, and it's like Bryce said. Look at his demeanor. Look at
His
the way
outfit.
It's like
his
a
whole-
completely different
yeah.
person.
His outfit, his whole discourse. You know, capital D discourse. The way
He didn't interrupt him. He didn't interrupt him one time.
Not one time.
Yeah.
You know, he has a different respect, I've noticed, for these type of folks. You know, I don't know. I wonder why.
Because he wants to be one.
Countries that have
Yep.
significant military capacity, you'll find that they do not display the vicious imperialist behavior of the European nations. And so what you're describing is not the nature of man. You're describing the nature of the devil. Man, wherever you may find him, we can consider the Chinese because they're a very much so an up and coming power. In fact, I think all who are being honest would consider them the current hegemon. But the difference between, say, a Chinese power and a European power is that the Chinese tend to not go and invade other countries. There's no doubt that they have the population to do so. The argument of the Germans, Lebensraum, or the argument of the Israelis or the Americans, sea to shining sea. Surely the Chinese can make the same argument with a billion plus population, but they don't. They don't go and steal and take over. And so what you'd have to do is first acknowledge that the nature of the European is unique, and it's uniquely bad, in fact, and that the things that you're noting are quite evil things. I yield the floor.
Well, I'm not someone who looks back at this time we're in and say atrocities are a good thing, but every single culture is capable of atrocities. And to say that I need to apologize for things that were done, I just reject that premise. I think white people in general, they have went out to different places. They explored, they colonized, they conquered North America. They went out and took Australia. In Africa, right? There were African tribes, the Oyo Empire, OYO Empire in Africa that owned 700,000 plus African slaves. So to say that slavery and conquering is a unique European thing, I would say Europeans were the ones who were able to conquer and enslave better than anyone else at the rules as they were at those times in history. It does not mean that I look at that today and say that's what we should do again today, but the rules of the times were that. It was to conquer, to take more, and the European was the best at doing it. And if we look at, if we do a pretend scenario, let's say,
do you mind if
Africa,
respond to some of the points before you go on? I don't want to interrupt you, but the fact of the matter is this is the second time you're speaking, and both times you were providing straw man and you were arguing against the straw man. For example, certain things I never said. I never said white should feel guilty. That's what you said. Mm-hmm. And you also stated that slavery existed in other places outside of Europe, which is true. However, I don't think that you are sophisticated enough to explain the differences in the nature of slavery as practiced by the Europeans versus as practiced anywhere else. And that's the problem, is that the white supremacists typically are the less educated, less desired white males, and they repeat what they hear one another say, yet it's consistently uninformed. So I would yield the floor to you to describe the differences between what you call African slavery and that which we observed in the trans.
Now, I like the way he, put the guy down in a nice way. That's the way I can at least respect that. But don't, all this yelling and threatening.
When I saw one of his first videos, it was something similar to this, and I was like, this is pretty cool, right? And then I kept watching more of his segments, and I was like, holy shit, what's happening here? Because he goes, he has like 5 different personalities.
Yeah, I'm just like, if I were talking to this white supremacist, which I would not go out of my way to do at all, but if I somehow ended up in this situation, I think I would tackle it from he's trying to go for the whole Eurocentric position, and it's just like, no, you don't get to do that. Like, you're from Ireland. What did Ireland do?
Oh,
what did Ireland contribute?
Right. He's gonna bring that up now, actually.
Oh, okay.
I did really quickly want to say I have changed my mind about Marquett, though. Not in the way you're thinking. He's still a piece of shit. But I don't think he's dumb anymore. I think he's actually intelligent. And
I told you, Bryce.
And he's using his intelligence to grift.
Yes.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's my impression is that I think the reason he's such a chameleon is because he's playing a game and it's working for him. You know.
Yeah. Everything he just said was true in that last segment. Like I was waiting for him to slip up and say something stupid, but everything he just said was true. And every time the white nationalist guy said something, I was questioning. I was like, I wonder if he's going to point out that this is a straw man argument. I wonder if he's going to point out that the slavery the Africans did was not the same as, and he's done every single thing. So he knows how to have a debate. He knows how to have a conversation of substance, and he's doing on purpose with black people, probably to make him more money because he gets white nationalists like this to subscribe to him. He can get a lot of subscribers off of different political ideologies and perspectives by doing this.
Right. Yeah. By the way, real quick before we get back into it, tomorrow, our friend James Bryce from the group, we're going to have our discussion / debate tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central. So we'll be able to check that out. Anyways, let me keep it going.
The Atlantic slave trade.
Well, sure. I can describe the Arabian slave trade in Africa. There were Arab slave traders.
You said Arabian. I said transatlantic slave trade versus the African slave trade. You said Africans traded slaves.
Africans did trade slaves. There were ginormous slave-owning empires. They would have basically the history of the world is there was groups of people who either made alliances or made war. And those groups of people made villages, and they either made alliances or made war. Those villages made cities, they made alliances or war. States, same thing. And it kept going up and up and up and up the totem pole. So when we look at African slavery, there were African villages or African tribes who would have conflict with each other, and one tribe would go and conquer the other tribe, and they would enslave the people of those tribes. And some of those slaves they would sell to the white European or the Arabian slave traders from the Middle East that would come over and buy slaves. So to implicitly just put the evil white man as committing all the atrocities, they were the ones that did commit.
I never said that. I'm asking you to compare the nature of African slavery and European slavery, because you suggested that you know something about African slavery. I know that you don't. And so I'm saying, well, go ahead and tell us what you do know.
Yeah, as I said, villages, tribes, empires, right? Different areas. Tribes would fight tribes. One tribe would conquer another tribe. They would take, they would plunder, they would conquer that tribe, take their resources, take their women, take their children, make them slaves. That's what would happen in Africa. Then these tribes made empires, and these empires.
Where'd you get that from? Like, where'd you get that from?
This is world history.
No, this is actually not world history. So, for example, I took a course under Dr. Mario Adiola, who's one of the foremost scholars in this, what you're calling world history. We're specifically speaking about African history. We're particularly talking about West African history, because those enslaved in the transatlantic slave trade, also known as the Mayafa, came from Western Africa. Some of the states today you might know as Ghana, Benin, Nigeria, etc. And so what I asked you to do is to compare the enslavement that occurred in that region versus European slavery. And what you did not do is answer that question. So you named one.
What do you want me to compare? They're different.
They're certainly different. Yeah. You named one means through which someone could become a slave. You also claimed that the empires would take over each other and pillage and do all these other things. Have any evidence of, but certainly they had wars. And you suggested that one could become a slave by being a POW, though you didn't use a proper term. So we agree there. What are the other means through which someone could become enslaved in West Africa?
Well, they're
what I find interesting with this too is that the white nationalists tend to also be Christians, and they usually defend biblical slavery with saying, "Oh, these are wartime slaves. These are, all the excuses we're familiar with." And then he'll accuse the Africans when old ancient Africans in this case, or not semi-ancient, or and he'll say that they'll do the same thing, and he'll label them as evil or wrong or some negative connotation to the
I think maybe where each one of them is trying to go, like I think the white nationalist is pointing out that the white people aren't evil for taking slaves because the black people were doing it too. And he might say they were doing it in accordance with the Bible. So I'm not accusing the black people of being evil, but the white people aren't evil either. Slavery is fine. I think he's probably going more with that angle, whereas Marquett is probably going to argue that the slavery that the white colonizers were doing was way worse and not in accordance with the rules that like the Hebrew slaves were doing, or that the slaves being taken in Africa. So that may be, that's where I would go if I was each one of them, but I don't know about this one.
Yeah.
Either a slave before and purchased, or they were free and they were conquered. Right. I'm sure there are other elements that you may know of, but as far as I'm aware, it was either they were a slave and bought, or they were
purchased, or they were conquered, which would say a POW. Yes. Is that it?
Sure. Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, maybe there's different tribal clans that own slaves, but what I'm saying is you weren't just a free person and randomly became a slave. You either conquered or you were bought.
Premium guys, sorry.
Okay. You were conquered, meaning you were a POW?
Yes.
Or you were purchased because you were already a slave?
Yes. Are
there any other means?
Well, I mean, I don't know how else there'd be another mean. I mean, and you can enlighten me.
You research this because you're making an argument about
this.
Well,
I haven't researched every single part of the history of the world, but from my research,
we're not talking about the history of the world. We're talking about the specific situation of enslavement in West Africa.
Well, those are what I'm aware of. If you can enlighten me on other ways, I'm willing to broaden my perspective and horizons. But those are what I'm aware of.
I can already imagine. Someone can sell themselves into slavery, right? In order to pay off.
People can be born into slavery.
Yeah, or born into slavery, right?
I just has nothing to do with anything. I find this guy's voice extremely annoying. This vocal fry guy.
Yeah,
I don't know if maybe that's just his voice, and if it is, I'll try not to make fun of it, but it is annoying to listen to.
Yeah, for me too.
I don't think it's reasonable that you would suggest that African slavery and European slavery were the same, essentially, if you don't know the nature of African slavery.
Well, they were different. Well, the thing is, all I know is what I know, what I have researched, and what I've studied. But if someone can enlighten me on other things I was not aware of.
I'm going to challenge that you haven't done any research. And the reason I challenge that is because I've talked to a lot of white supremacists. And maybe of the hundreds I've talked to, and this is not new since YouTube, I used to talk to real white supremacists who are, proactive and violent.
Well, I wouldn't declare myself a supremacist. I would say each racial group has their interest, and by domination, others take control. Yeah.
Sure. Well, I've talked to white supremacists, or in your case, if you like, white nationalists. I've talked to those who are scholars in that movement. And I find maybe about 98% are just what I like to call dumb racists. They just repeat what they heard others say. They've done actually no research whatsoever. So when you say your research, typically it just means that you're a quotologist. You quote things you've seen on social media. You quote Charlie Kirk, for example, or you quote some other goofball. And that goofball didn't do any research either. So would you tell me what book or what scholar, I think that's fair. Like, what scholar did you learn about African slavery from?
Well, I think you're trying to get me to say, well, if I didn't take a course in it from a college, that
no, you don't have to take a course. You could have read a book. So I'm like, what book or scholar?
I've looked online numerously. I've looked at ChatGPT. I've been online doing research.
Wow.
But this is the thing. You want to focus on African slavery, right?
Nope.
Oh my God. Marquett is going to chew this guy up. I haven't seen this video, by the way.
I've seen that one already.
No.
This is pretty bad so far.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, no. I want to focus on making sure that you're making arguments that have a premise that is reasonable. And you already started 2 arguments, and you're arguing against points I never made, mind you, which lets me know that you're kind of just going through.
Well, maybe it's not you made them, but people have made them.
Yes.
And I apologize if you felt that I said you did it.
It's not what I feel. I'm operating on rationality. It's what I've observed. I'm listening to you. To observe attentively is to remember distinctly, and I'm observing attentively. So number one, with regards to African slavery, if you say that your research consists of ChatGPT, then I would have to.
Well, why don't you enlighten me?
Well, first, I need to tell you that that's not research.
Well, how am I wrong?
Wait, first, do you realize that ChatGPT is not research? You realize
I
that?
have looked online, ChatGPT.
No, I will enlighten you. I'm more than happy to enlighten you. But do you realize that ChatGPT is not research?
ChatGPT can give you certain sources, and you can go look up those sources. But if I'm wrong by what I'm saying, if there's a different way someone became a slave other than one already being a slave and purchased, or they were free and conquered, please let me know what those other ways are.
I want to make sure that we're operating on a basic level so that we can be reasonable. So just on a basic level, I want to understand, do you realize that ChatGPT is not researching? Like, that's not research.
It's not peer reviewed studied. It's not from a university, but
it seems like you have trouble with honesty.
You're talking about ChatGPT. You're not talking about how I'm wrong. How am I
will,
wrong?
But first we need to deal with this basic.
Okay.
Are you willing to concede ChatGPT is not research?
Okay. I'm an idiot. I don't know what I'm talking about.
No, I'm not trying to degrade you. I'm just trying to make sure that we're on the same page.
Can you tell me how I'm wrong?
You don't have to be sarcastic. You can be sincere. You don't have to be sarcastic. Just be sincere. So I'm asking you, do you realize that ChatGPT is not research?
Sure.
Okay. Very good. Great. And this is important because there are people who are watching and they too have to learn. So number one, ChatGPT is not research.
I gotta say, I love the way Marquette's handling this. This is fucking brutal.
See, like if this was the only thing we watched, I would have come away with so much respect for Marquett here. But knowing
it's hard to believe it's the same person.
Yeah, but knowing just how much of a grifter he is,
I'm really engaged in this debate, but I'm kind of like interested to go into some other video where he's talking like on things we disagree about, like the gay topic and trans persons and stuff like that. I'd like to pivot to that because he's going to win this. I can already see it. He's going to win this debate, and we already.
I mean, he's kind of already won. The guy said as soon as the guy said ChatGPT, I rolled my eyes because I'm like, well, you've just proved that you don't know how to research anything.
Right.
He did admit that ChatGPT was not a source and that it had sources, but that doesn't mean he looked at it. He clearly didn't look at any of the sources. So. Yeah, I don't know that he has anywhere to go beyond that.
It's just gonna.
You can see he even knew that because he was smiling as soon as Marquette brought up ChatGPT. Like the other guy, like he had a smile on his face. I think he knew he messed up when he said that.
Oh yeah, big time.
That's how I discovered him. He was debating schooling white supremacists and or white nationalists, but he will not, for some reason, debate Andrew Wilson.
Why? They're the same.
Yeah, he doesn't think he's the same. He says Andrew Wilson is trash and whatnot and all that.
I mean, he is, but so is he.
But so is he, big time. And the only thing they're going to disagree on is the Christian thing, because Marquette also debates Christians and he roasts them because he thinks Christianity is a white person's religion to enslave black people mentally or whatever. So,
I mean, I kind of agree with him.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that's where they're going to disagree, but they're going to probably agree on everything else, most likely.
Yeah, but I don't know why he wouldn't want to debate him, because he would win that debate.
Yeah.
He would clearly win that debate.
No,
Andrew Wilson is not good.
He does not want to debate him. He does go at it with Myron, I believe.
Oh.
All right, let's get to the last one because I don't have a whole lot.
Yeah.
I know I showed up late, but I don't have a lot of time.
Oh, it's all good, man.
It's weird how it works out that way.
Let's see what this one's about. I haven't seen this either, but
my son was on a live on Instagram with a fellow by the name of Marquett. I could be hacking up his name, Marquett Davon, and they had a very, very, very interesting conversation, man. And I was like, wow. Yeah, I mean, because he said some interesting things. Which for the most part, I agree with. But here's the thing. It wasn't biblical. Let's play the clip real quick. And I'll meet y'all on the other side, and we're gonna break this down.
And use the term partner. This is a term that comes from the LGBTQ,
the Skittle guzzlers. Do you accept homosexuality?
Well, I don't have to accept homosexuality because I'm not a homosexual. So why would I have to accept?
Are you pro-homosexual? Are you an ally? Like, I'll give you three. Like, I just want to figure out where you're at with it. Are you an ally? Are you against it? Or are you neutral?
I don't have anything against somebody that's homosexual. That's their way of life. It's not my
against, way. Neutral, or pro?
I'm for anyone loving who they love.
So this kind of ideology that you believe in and that you're sharing, this is the ideology that's extraordinarily destructive to the Black family in particular, and all families in general across all of the racial categories. Black people have the highest level of religiosity in this country right here. And that's because Black people are a people of spirit and rhythm. And that's all of us around the whole planet Earth. We're deeply religious, spiritual people. And if you go to the continent of Africa, for the things that you said you're okay with, the LGBTQ stuff, there's capital punishment in many places. There's a death penalty because Black people, that is against the souls of Black folks. And you're a hip hop head. You may remember the time when hip hop was Black, when hip hop was positive, when hip hop was political, and when hip hop embedded our culture. And you would hear people say things like no homo, or you finish battling somebody, especially in New York, and you would say, and I can't even say the word right now, that's all been ripped out of our culture by the liberal whites. What they did was they commercialized our culture. They put it on social media, they put it on Netflix, and then they told us who we are. Before, they used to observe us in our ghettos and then reflect our image in Hollywood. But now Hollywood tells us who we are and then we follow it. And that's how you get a Lil Nas X, and that's how you get my son, the general, telling me he can't speak up straight like a man and say, I do not condone the abomination of a man laying down with another man, especially a Black man, because that reduces our population. The Black woman aborts more children than she gives birth to. Her birth rate is like 1.9. You need a birth rate of 2.1 for replacement and for growth. And we cannot have all these people, males laying with males and women laying with women and Black women abort children because we are being reduced. You talk about reparations. You say the government owes us something. Maybe they do. But one thing I can promise you is they ain't giving you a damn thing. You ain't going to get 40 acres. You ain't going to get a mule. I'm not about to wait for a government that I already know hates me. Because goddamn it, the government hates the white man too. They ain't doing a damn thing for the middle and lower class white man. Why in the hell would he do something for me?
Old buddy was saying a lot. Look, everything.
All right, well, that's enough to know, because then he's going to do his reaction. So
yeah, I mean, he was saying a lot, but he was saying a lot of nonsense stuff.
Notice that once again, when he's talking to a Black man, he's screaming and yelling.
Yeah, he can't control his emotions when he's talking
to Black
people.
He can't speak to another Black person with respect. He just can't do it. And to me, that signifies self-hatred, wanting to be something other than Black himself.
Yeah. What did you think, Nell, about what the substance of what he was saying? I mean, I don't know what your ethnicity is, but I don't think it matters. He was saying a lot of stuff about gay people and trans people and how that's damaging to the Black community. It sounds like that's the argument he was trying to make.
Yep.
It's just another flavor of what white Christian nationalists have been saying. It's this pure hatred, and they don't want to understand us. They don't want to have any compassion for us. It's just we want to erase you from society. And
I think his argument was all over the place and logically inconsistent with itself, because the point he was trying to make was that homosexuality is bad for the Black community because it reduces our population. But he went to abortion. Abortion and homosexuality are not related to each other.
They're not related, but also it's like, I feel, and I think it was George Carlin who said that, it's like you would think that Christians would look at abortion and homosexuality and be like, wow,
they make natural allies.
They have zero abortions.
Yeah, that's the one demographic that's guaranteed to have zero abortions is gay people. Yeah.
The one thing that I will never understand about any of these people who talk this crap, they never actually acknowledge that homosexuality is natural. It happens. It always has. In every freaking part of the earth.
Yep.
And he's making it seem like it's just something that's exclusively being promoted in the United States. It happens in Africa too, and not all African nations will, do capital punishment. But there are reasons for it in certain countries where they do in Africa, and that's because they have overwhelmed medical systems with lack of medical care and all that kind of stuff, and they don't have like protective measures in place like we do in the West, and so they don't want to basically expose people to more danger through not just homosexuality but sexual promiscuity in general. But that's because of the third world conditions that are already so bad. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm simply saying that he's saying all this stuff out of context. You know what I mean? There's more nuance and more context to the small percentage of countries that actually practices something like that,
Yeah, it's multifaceted, and he also everything you just said is true. And the other thing, the other reason why it's prominent is because of religion. He left that part out.
Yeah,
a lot of these countries are predominantly Christian or predominantly Muslim or both, and they're fighting between which religion has dominance. But the same thing could be said in Middle Eastern countries like Iran or Saudi Arabia. He didn't bring those up. That has nothing to do with Black people, but they still are against homosexuality and have the death penalty for that because it's part of their religion. And a lot of these African nations that he's probably talking about, it's part of their religion. They get it from religion, so it's not it's not as simple as saying it's part of Black identity. It's not, because there's Black people in the world, that a lot of them, that don't have a problem with that. And it's not because they were infected by the liberal white perspective. There's just liberalism and being white are not equivalent. You can be liberal and be any color. He thinks liberal means white for some reason.
Yeah.
But you don't get liberal, and I'm not a liberal, by the way, I'm a progressive. But I can speak honestly and say, look, political values are influenced by your personal values, not necessarily values that you adopt from whatever you think is your culture or your race. So I went on a rant there, but
in one of some. Scott, is that your mic messing up?
I lost you, Scott.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. One assumption I noticed that a lot of these people make is they feel like human beings somehow are outside of nature, so that we're able to intervene and change nature. We don't like nature. We don't like the fact that homosexuality exists in nature. So we're going to have to correct nature and tell it how to do reality right. That's one of the things about human beings, is we think for some reason we have this dominion, perspective where we think that we can actually dominate and change reality. And you can't just teach homosexuality away from people. That's their nature. That's who they are.
But religion says the opposite is true. And if you get a religious person, like the person you're going to debate tomorrow, whose name is in the comments, thinks that it's a learned behavior.
Right.
We debated about this offline, but
that's
what I was telling you about, Sophia.
That's what trips me out about the guy, because he says he's not religious. He talks against Muslim ideology and Christian ideology, but a lot of his rhetoric is textbook,
Well, he may not be religious, but he's certainly adopted religious ideology. And to be fair, so have a lot of Black people. There's a lot of Black people in America who are not religious, but are homophobic.
Yes.
Homophobia is one of the problems in the Black community. That's generally statistically higher than the white majority, but that's a culturally learned thing that does come largely from religion.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That's what makes his rhetoric so ironic, because he sounds just like a Christian nationalist or a Muslim. I mean, where does he sound any different at?
Also, the irony here is he's bringing all this up as if it's somehow harmful to the Black community. But the thing people leave out of that conversation is the most marginalized group, the most marginalized demographic in America are Black trans women.
Yeah.
Which his rhetoric demeans and tries to erase. So if anybody's causing damage to the Black community, it's him.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm a firm believer in a third gender. I just know that's true. And he is a prime example of that. Because let's face it, Marquett is very feminine and masculine.
Yeah,
he's a chameleon. I don't know what he is. Like you said earlier, I don't know what he is.
I mean, he's what I would define as a lady boy. And I know this is derogatory in America, but it's not in the places where it actually comes from.
Is it derogatory?
I guess so. I mean, I've been told that it's supposedly.
Oh, it may be. I know it from spicy online content, and
I guess it's derogatory towards trans women who identify as women, but in the countries where they have lady boys, they don't actually identify as women. They identify as lady boys because they acknowledge that they're just different and that.
Well, there is a difference. I do recognize that there is a difference between a trans woman and a lady boy, but both exist.
Right.
I don't think one is derogatory and the other is not.
Yeah, and I would say that Marquett is one of those guys who has both those qualities, just like a lady boy, and he's in big denial about that.
That could be where the anger comes from. Yeah, this is a guy who actually did come from the street, used to be a pimp and everything, but came up and became very successful in the white community. And he kind of gives Marquett a little pushback against his stance on gays and different things, especially women and stuff like that.
But he does it in a way where it's flying over Marquett's head that he's actually saying that to him. That's the funny part. Did I lose y'all?
No, I can still hear you. I'm waiting for Scott to start the video.
Scott, you still with us?
Scott?
I hear static. He might be struggling with his microphone or his settings. So let's fill the dead space until he gets himself together. On the last guy that he was talking to, I feel like, or actually, I'm sorry, I'm going back to the white nationalist guy that he was talking to. That guy seemed like he was very young, like he was 12, maybe 14 or whatever. And so I don't think it's fair now it's clear he didn't know a lot about what he was talking about. And Marquett, I think, was taking advantage of his naivete. And that's fine. But I mean, I don't know why that doesn't impress me. It would impress me if Marquett had been having that debate with somebody who was a little bit closer to a peer.
Oh yeah, no, it reminds me much of how people, far right drools over Ben Shapiro, but it's like he only ever debates college kids. It's like
It was the same thing with Charlie Kirk. It was the same thing with Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, we're noticing a pattern here.
Absolutely, it's kind of predatory because these guys act very respectful when they're arguing with someone that's kind of on their level, but they usually only seek out people who are younger and less informed or whatever, or somebody that's just generally at a disadvantage. And then he goes crazy like that and makes it look like he just owned the debate because he picked somebody that doesn't even know what's going to hit them.
Yeah. Welcome back, Scott.
Yeah, my internet went out. So I'll try to start this up. Hopefully this is in the right spot. Let's see if I can get it going.
About it. She said, yeah, even if a white man was gay, he still wouldn't be moved because he's comfortable with himself, even if in this community, because people will often say, girls will say it, guys will say it, oh, you're gay. That's like the
Yeah.
that's like the kryptonite word or something,
Yeah.
right? But you don't hear that term in white communities and no other communities. Why is it within our community we're so susceptible to this idea of gayness? It is directly associated with your lack of manhood, because during slavery and being enslaved, it was our manhood that was attacked, right? And so it was a time in the 60s that they were doing marches and they would have these signs on, I am a man, right? So there is a deficiency of feeling about manhood within this community, because during the time of Jim Crow and slavery, you can be 80 years old and they'll say, come here, boy. So it's in your psyche, right? So when somebody says you're gay, it's like, that's gonna kill them. That's like, oh man, after you say that, that should murder them, right?
And see, look at
So
him
he's laughing at that.
Yes.
Yeah, he's laughing at that as if he agrees with them, but that's
Right.
a destruction of his
He's talking
entire
directly to his ass.
Yeah.
See, we just saw a video where he was saying the complete opposite.
Yeah.
See, this is where I'm losing respect for
I'm
Marquett.
sorry, he's so fake. He's about as fake as a fucking
$2 bill.
yeah.
Yeah.
With that cheesy smile,
but
man.
Yep.
If you call a white man that, hey, you're gay, he'll be like, oh, have a nice day, because he's secure in his manhood. They know what they've conquered. Whatever you have to say to them means very little. And a woman says it about a man when she sees a man has elevated that she feels she cannot reach. So that's her throwaway line for her own insecurities. Oh, he's gay. Well, that really means that you feel like he wouldn't be interested in you. You have to say something. That's something embedded within you. You have a purpose in saying that when you say that to a man. And when another black man says it, he has a purpose out of his own insecurity. How the heck I'm gay? I done had 8 women. I got 2 wives now. But I'm just trying to tell you where that comes from and why in our community it's said, and in no other community it doesn't even exist. Doesn't even matter, right? They are secure with themselves. My wife said to me the other day,
yes,
that's not exactly true.
Also,
Not
I don't
always.
agree with him that women would only say that to a man because the man didn't want them. That's BS. You know.
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons he's leaving it. I mean, I get the point that he's trying to make, but he's trying to make it seem like homophobia only exists in the black community. That's definitely not true.
Yeah.
It exists all around the world still. But statistically, it happens to be more prominent among African Americans and Africans, I should say, due to
which
cultural
goes
reasons.
back to religion.
Which goes,
But I do agree. I do agree with his point that in the black community, oftentimes we do lack what's it called? Y'all help me out. The German speaking in self-esteem.
Oh, self-esteem, yeah.
A man that's secure in his own manhood doesn't get as offended over something that he knows he isn't. And I think he also was trying to make the point that being gay is not really associated with whether or not you're a man, right?
But it used to be, though. It used to be associated with that because people didn't know anything. They only knew what the book told them to think, right?
Right. But I'm saying I think he is trying to make that point. Even if you are gay, we can agree that that doesn't make you less of a man. I mean, I have gay friends who are way more manly than some guys who claim they're such big men, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of anything manlier than a man sucking off another man. So,
Masculinity on masculinity. I mean, how more masculine can he get?
I want to explore your manosphere.
To piggyback off of what you were just saying a minute ago, though, you were talking about insecurity. That's also the reason why I think people who are like, if religion is not your thing, but you're still homophobic, that's insecurity. Because most straight men I know don't have a problem with gay people.
Exactly.
I like most of my friends who are straight. I know of quite a few people. They grew up in the Bay Area, so there's a lot of gay people. I'm from New York, so but it's just something. Yeah, there's some people are gay, some people are straight, some people are bisexual. It's fine. It has nothing to do with me. So no one else's sexuality should be a threat to you. If you see someone else's sexuality as a threat to you, then you see your own sexuality as a problem.
Yeah, and that's obviously what it is. You're suppressing your own sexuality, because this whole rhetoric about, oh, gay guys always want to turn out straight guys. I'm like, if you're absolutely straight, that would never work. Like,
yeah, the most homophobic people in the world outside of religion are gay people.
Yeah.
You know, you can look at we just had the passing of Lindsey Graham a little while ago. We don't know what Lindsey Graham's sexual preference was, but there's been a lot of speculation about it unofficially. Most people think he was gay, totally anti-gay in all of his legislation and all of his policies. But that's the self-hate, you know, and that's all throughout politics. We see that.
Absolutely. Agreed. It's always the one that's the most homophobic.
And
behind closed doors.
Nick Fuentes.
Yeah.
He's in the closet. Come on.
They're all the same. And I believe Marquett is too, to be honest.
Yeah. And we're not making this up. It's like you can look up the statistics of, like, you know, in the Bible Belt, what the most looked up porn is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, not only in the Bible Belt, but in the Middle East also, in all of the places where that's where it's most consumed.
Man, yep, that's crazy.
When I was talking about it, she said, "Yeah, even if a white man was gay, he still wouldn't be moved because he's comfortable with himself, even if he's gay." Right? We feel it is the greatest insult because the lack of you feeling a man, that is the lack of manhood, that would bother you.
Marquett's falling apart.
Yeah.
Nature man
has been exposed.
You take care of them, we take care of you.
Talking directly.
Great head. Oh yeah, we gotta keep that pressure on. And he's the active cash Visa credit card from Wells.
Go ahead.
I said, do y'all see his face? He's crashing out inside.
It's like,
I don't think he was prepared for that argument.
Yeah.
He's like, it doesn't look like he knows how to handle this particular argument because he doesn't want to agree with him, but he doesn't have the tools to disagree.
Yeah. How can I agree and not at the same time?
Right.
We'd have to do a whole nother session just on the psychology of that. The truly pathological behavior of the Black female. And this is not to suggest that the Black male's not in disrepair. He is. But the Black female is, you're right, this is her go-to. And it saddens me because while they'll use it as an insult, then they'll turn around and hang out with gay Black males.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
You see how he just flipped it back to the Black female?
Yeah.
The guy never said that it's the Black female that uses it as a go-to to insult.
Right.
He never made that argument at all. So he's just completely like moving the goalpost and doing his own thing again.
Well, he has to turn it to misogyny because it can't be a problem, and that can't be the problem inherent in the Black community, because if it is, then it's a problem that he has. He thinks the problems inherent in the Black community are being lazy and stupid and dumb and all the white supremacist talking points. You're muted, Sophia. Oh, you may have been muted.
I'm sorry. I had to. My dogs went crazy here for a second.
You got dogs and cats?
Yep. And they
living together in the same house?
They get along because I'm the alpha feral person in here. They better all listen to me.
That's awesome. Let's see how he's gonna pivot somehow.
You know, like as their buddy. It's the most psychotic stuff. And then some of them will have 3 kids and then turn around and claim that they're lesbian. There's so much perversion in the community, and
that kind of works against his argument too.
It's going to come down to real Black men forcing things in the right direction. I 100% agree with you. I'm glad you spoke on that. And the comedy is the Black man in America has been viewed as the most masculine and at times hyper masculine. And sometimes that's what gets us killed, because it's the false masculinity that causes us to flip out when someone steps on our sneaker or tampers with our fragile sense of self and our fragile sense of masculinity, because we're holding up a false image that has nothing behind it. And the fact that they would come out and call you gay really is because you so damn P, you heard me? You so damn P, and they can't interpret it. They call you gay, and it's ironic because they're talking to the most masculine man.
Absolutely.
which is the one who has complete self-control, the one who is not.
Yeah, see, he's trying to turn it around.
Bullshit. That's what he's actually doing is crying about how so many people call him gay and he thinks he's this made man.
Do they? I know we did, but do
a
other
lot
people?
of people do. If you look at throughout all the comments, and there's other YouTubers who cover him. I mean, there's a lot of men who are saying like this dude's in the closet.
You know, every video clip you've played, Scott, he's made one argument that contradicted the argument he made in his previous video.
Right.
Because in the previous video, he tried to argue that homosexuality was bad for the Black community because it's resulting in a population decrease, even though he tried to shift that to abortion. But in this video, he's now using the example of women having 2 or 3 kids and being lesbian. Well, that seems to be the exact opposite of what you said. Obviously, being gay doesn't seem to be stopping procreation or limiting having children if you're pointing to all these people who are having 2 or 3 kids that are gay, you know?
I mean, I'm not a psychiatrist.
Yeah, that argument kind of cannibalized itself. And it was something I did want to say in the last video. I was like, does he understand that gay people actually can have kids too? Like, does he know that that's a thing?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think I saw one interview where he was getting very irate with a Black man who said he was gay and was adopting a child. And Marquett was like, "Oh, and you think you think that's healthy to put our Black men through your gayness and your gay world and all this stuff?"
He doesn't even believe in stepdads. He thinks that stepdads are simps and all that kind of stuff. And,
well, what does he believe in then?
I don't know. What this is what I would say. I'm not a psychiatrist, obviously, but my guess is that this guy is a full-blown sociopath with no real inner core. And so he's just a chameleon and he doesn't really know who he is.
Yeah,
I would say, and he's just lost. That dude's lost. He's got some intellectual capacity, but that's about it. That's all that's to him.
Yeah, he's one of those one-trick pony type guys.
Inclined to emotional violence, and if it has to get violent, it was rational violence, a calm, cold decision that was calculated, and she's trying her best to find something to move you out of masculinity.
Absolutely.
She's saying that you don't have masculinity to move you out of it, to get you in a feminine position, to get you to react like the other Black males who really aren't men, who are more familiar to her. They see you, you're a rare bird. They're used to seeing the one that's acting all thug. They ain't never did no time. They ain't never put in no work. I see it messes me up because where I'm from, everybody got gang tattoos. So you'll see people covered in tattoos. They ain't never put in no work. I'm like, this is different. So it's just a lot of pretend. It's a lot of pretend and bravado that substitutes as manhood. And that's why I appreciate your work breaking down what it really is.
Because it stems from you knowing you've been dominated by white men. That's why you feel that way. So you have to overcompensate in your disposition. You need to let your woman know that you are somebody. I'm this, right? You know, you in your psychology, in your psyche, you know you've been dominated by white men, right? So you have to. When I was growing up, I never wanted to be the tough guy. I'm a man and I've gotten into situations or whatever, right? But I was never seduced by this idea of the tough guy, gangster, because I seen meek white men dominate them. The gangster, the P, the hustler, our greatest whatevers in that field have all been dominated by the meek white man. So when I grew up, I said, I want to learn about this guy that's doing the dominating. I'm not interested in all these tough guys because you are all dominated by this man. I need to find out about him. And so you could see how my disposition is. My disposition is to conquer that person, not you, because I don't consider you as an enemy, right? So I'm not prepared to duel with you down there. I'm prepared to deal with him, which is why I won in police accountability, because I am prepared to deal with the system, the people who run the world, which is why you can't feel me, which is why I don't appeal to you, because I'm not normal to you. I should be though, right? And I bring to you the evidence because every area of my life matches. Every area matches. You know the deficiency in this high value idea?
Here we go.
Right? Most people determine their value by their money. I determine my value by the landmass that I've conquered.
PetSmart Charities and Hill Science Diet.
I feel like he's speaking
invite you to
directly
join us for
to
National
him.
Adoption Week.
He is. He definitely is. And
I don't know if Marquett realizes it or not.
Maybe he does realize it.
He doesn't. I mean, if he is, he's definitely hiding it. But you can see that he's uncomfortable.
He looks uncomfortable.
It looks like his wheels are spinning in his head.
Like he about to cry to me.
Hey guys, I do have to bounce.
Most people
So
determine
go ahead and
their
finish
value
without
by-
me. Thanks for having me on here. I appreciate it.
Hey,
Yeah, Bryce, thanks for coming, man. I appreciate your input, brother.
Sorry.
Yep. Nice to meet you.
By their money. I determine my value by the land mass that I've conquered. What is that? I have conquered politics. I've conquered the street life. I've conquered the legal system. I have conquered the women. And most importantly, which would start first? Myself. And everything matches. Every area of my life, I could duplicate it. Once you have the information, you can duplicate it. And I'm going to make it. See, I don't speak clothes that fit like the preacher. When you go to see in the church and you're feeling good and preach. No. I preach clothes that don't fit to make you uncomfortable on purpose, to make you grow, to pull excellence out of you. Let me give you these two things my father said to me, and let me share them with you. My father said, son, there's two things I expect from you. I said, okay, Dad, shoot. He said, the first thing I expect for you as a young black man, that in all your disadvantages that you face, I expect for you to finish the race of life, son. And I was like, I can do that, Dad. I can do that. I said, there's two things that I expect, son. I said, okay. He said, the second thing, son, is I expect for you to come in first. I sat back. That's the genius of my father. What was he saying? The high expectation that he had from me pulled the greatness out of me. See, you as a black male, no one expects anything from you. They expect you to be a liar, a cheat, for you to talk about your women, for you to put down women, for you to kill other black men. There's no expectation of you.
And see, that's where he's really talking to Marquett, because that's what he does. Puts down women, puts down other black men. We saw him threaten another guy's life in a way on that last video. So
And
he's
he
fulfilling
sounds
the
like
stereotype.
And he sounds like a preacher, like he was telling him over emotional preaching, like he's trying to sell some snake oil. You know, he does all those things.
Oh, of course. It's just more hypocrisy and just more evidence of a grift. But yeah, man, this was really good. I'm gonna have to get out of here. I got to get back to work. But this was really good. Hopefully this was sort of educational about how some of these grifters can be and how they play that game. And hopefully somebody who needs to see it can see it now if they haven't already. You know, because it is important. There's a lot of young people today that get swayed by this sort of negativity, you know.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, what he's doing is very divisive. My God, my cats, I think I need to feed them right now.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna get on out, man. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. This was really, really fun.
All right, y'all. Have a good one.
Have a good one, Sophia. You too, Nell. Have a good one. Y'all be good.